Okay, this is one of my favourite books. This is a German book. It's the Star Wars Action Figure Price Guide, 2005 Price Guide, and this is just excellent. It's got your vintage figures there, and it has a good range of figures, not just the US cards, it has Palatoy cards, tri-logos. What I like about this book is it's European as well, so it has prices in pounds rather than in US dollars. And this book's quite still available, quite cheap, and it's just really useful. It needs to be updated because it's got sections on the modern figures as well. It goes up to, let's show you, it's got Ewoks there, and it's got Powder Force there, it's got the Canadian variations, Japanese variations of the figures, Italian, I like the Italian ones. Then we got more modern Powder Force with the freeze frame. We're going to come up to those. There they are, freeze frame. Canadian versions, Comtech figures, figures with the coins, Beast, figure packs, cinema scenes I should say, the new AT-AT, Luke's T16, so you've got the US version, the European version. So this book's just so good because it covers British, American, Canadian, Japanese. It's just such a useful book. I know Star Wars is largely, I mean most collectors are American, but there's a lot of us over here and we need our own books as well. What's really needed is someone to do something about Palatoy figures, German figures, and other European lines, the Italian ones. So far we've only got the French ones done. Episode 1 stuff, Power of the Jedi, Saga 1, the blue cards. And this book goes up to 2005. I've got the Saga blue cards with the gold side, accessory packs, Death Star trash compactor, the silver 25th anniversary figures, Clone Wars stuff, the 12-inch figures, the vintage ones, plus the Power of the Force 2 line, the Marmite Japanese figures just here. I've only got one of these. I've got the AT-AT, which isn't shown. Then Episode 1 giant figures, 12-inch figures, Power of the Jedi, Saga 1, the die-cast ships, and Epic Force. Very comprehensive book, handy size, published by Fantasia SU in Germany, so excellent book for a German. This is a really good European, has to be the best European guide ever. Okay, last we're going to look at the Star Wars Super Collector's Wish book. This is the 4th edition. There's a 5th edition now which I've got as well, but this is an excellent book. I've got edition 3, 4 and 5, and this is just a massive comprehensive book. I know Star Wars Nut 77 did a review of this book, so of the 5th edition, so this is the 4th edition. It cost £20 in England, or $30 US. and this just has everything in it. It has action figures, books, toys, paper products, cooking utensils, whatever you can imagine existing as Star Wars merchandise, this book and its sister volumes has prices in US dollars, model kits, just so comprehensive. From 97, this is the Star Wars action figure archive. This is the British version, edited by Stephen J. Stancy and Josh Ling. And this is an excellent book. So it's got loads of really nice photographs. It's got Power of the Force 2 figures, card variations, Boba Fett there. Goes up to the sort of 98 figures. What was available, accessories, ships, A-Wing there. The new version of the AT-AT, but I've heard there's an even newer resculpted AT-AT coming out soon. Collector's cases, and then we've got onto the best bit, the 1978 figures, 78-9 figures. So you've got the pictures of the early bird set, telescoping lightsabers, the 12-back figures, all the different cards you could get them on. What else? Boba Fett there. It's really interesting. Nice photographs, different types of cards you could get from around the world. Primarily this concentrates on US cards though. Power of the Force figures, unproduced Power of the Force cards, tri-logo cards, Ewoks, droids, all the different ships you could get at the time, play sets, the new 98 figures, not so new now, and Epic Force figures. And then again it has at the back a glossary of what different cards are available with what different bubbles and variations and all that sort of stuff. So a really good book. This English book cost £25 back then. This is easily the best book for US collectors. It's by John Kellerman. It's the Star Wars Vintage Action Figures, a guide for collectors, and this is just the best book for US collectors. It's got pictures of the figures loose, figures variations, all US cards though, all Kenner cards. This is book entirely about Kenner, nothing else. No Palatoy, no Meccano, no Tri-Logo, no Spanish cards, no Brazilian cards, no Argentinian cards, just pure unadulterated Kenner. And this is the definitive collecting book for Kenner cards. It does go into foreign use of Kenner cards, so if you've got a Dutch card, a Kenner card with a Dutch stick on it, then he'll have that in this, but he won't have actual Clipper Dutch cards. It just entirely Kenner cards. So not beautifully photographed, all the major variations, different variations of Luke there with brown hair, dark brown hair, blonde hair, different variations of Han, Luke Bespin, Leia Bespin, Luke, all the picture variations of the cards. Then we've got a list of accessories, carded action figure number backs listing, so if you're into all of this sort of stuff, then you're in 7th heaven, aren't you? Then we've got pictures of the backs. From this book you can just use this to identify any card you've got, as long as it's a Kenner card, and you can accurately identify what back you've got, what variations. So there's just so much you can do with this book. Oh, so interesting. Empire Strikes Back backs, Revenge of the Jedi offer there, Return of the Jedi fronts, Power of the Force. Let's go through this. You've got lists. This book's so comprehensive and so detailed. There we've got the Dutch Kenner cards with the stickers offers there. Oh, very interesting. Coins. This is just a real treasure trove. The guy who wrote this must have spent ages just doing research on this. It's a shame, in my opinion, that he didn't go into Palatoy cards or the General Mills or Spanish cards or whatever. It'd have been then this book would have just been perfect. But for US cards, this is the best. It's got all the sort of development of the cards, prototypes of the cards, chromolins. You know, it's just so detailed. Prototypes, mock-ups. There's the chromolin pages. Store displays, advertising. Just so much research. I'm not sure if this book's still published. I think it came out a few years ago, about 4 or 5 years ago. But if you're into collecting US Kenner cards, this book is an absolute must. Advertising, promotional stuff. Excellent book. And at the time it cost $34.95. Okay, this book is out of date. It's 97 this came out, but it is an excellent book. It's by Stephen J. Sansweet and T.N. Tunbush, and it's Thomas Price Guide to Worldwide Star Wars, 2nd edition. I've got the 1st edition, but I haven't got it here, so we'll just look at this edition here. This is, even though it's out of date, it's just a brilliant book. It's very comprehensive. Okay, black and white pictures again, but still it's very detailed. It ranges from everything, so from clothing to games, comics, books, magazines, artwork, portfolios, mixture of colour and black and white photographs. And if you're a Star Wars collector, this book is, even though the prices are out of date, it's still indispensable, and you can pick this up cheaply in, well, you can in the UK at least. So comics there, games, colour pictures, and it has a really good section on the action figures, which is our primary concern. Model kits, action figures there. So the prices are out of date, but it has good photography of the figures, all the different major card variations. Ewoks, Flicks, and some of the more modern figures up to Power of the Force 97. Some of the foreign figures like the Mexican, the Japanese in the boxes, the figure packs, Hong Kong set, Spanish cards, Brazilian cards, British Palatoy, Death Star, the little die-cast ships, Action Fleet. So, really good book. Okay, what I thought I'd show you is some of the guides that I use to help with identifying and pricing and all that sort of stuff, Star Wars collectibles. So this is Star Wars Collectibles, House of Collectibles Price Guide. It's a bit out of date. It's about 10 years, if not more, out of date. But this was one of the first books that I acquired. The first one I got was half of this was Star Wars and Star Trek. Now they just split it into Star Wars. This one came out in 1997, so it's 13 years out of date. But it's still quite useful. I mean, back in the early days, it was good for looking at what sort of figures were available. It was good. Gave me a lot of good information and good background knowledge of what I could eventually acquire and not acquire, but know about. So this is the section about the loose figures. Then you've got some carded figures. You've got a picture of an Empire Strikes Back TIE Fighter pilot, a Brazilian C-3PO, and a Mexican Ewok, which is very rare. I mean, I saw one Mexican figure in England at a convention. They wanted 500 quid for that, so it just shows you how expensive they are over in here. But this is a really good book. Bit out of date, but still it's a good starting point. You could probably pick it up second hand at a flea market maybe. The third edition was the one I had before this, and that's the one, I don't know where it is, I can't find it, but it's that's the one that really kicked me off into Star Wars collecting. Star Wars toothbrush there. So let's just quickly flip through it. R2-D2 game, modern electronic games, role-playing games. What else? There's so much that you can collect. Some colour pictures now. Most of this book is in black and white. It's American, so all the prices are in dollars. And overall it's quite a good starting point. It's got lots of variety. It's got magazines, it's got books, it's got toys, it's got model kits, it's got whatever you can imagine that's been put out in terms of Star Wars merchandise. It's their banners, paper plates, fan club merchandise. Overall it's a really good book, even though it's a bit out of date. Die cast stuff, TIE bomber there, laser guns, trading cards. So Collectibles from a Galaxy Far Far Away, and it's by the staff of Beckett Hot Toys. Again, this is about 10 years old, if not slightly more. Colour pictures in this, but it just lacks depth in this book. It just has a few items per page, but it's still useful. A bit out of date now. So this is the Beckett book from about 98-99, yak face there. Has a lot of lists, not necessarily any prices. Trading cards, still useful to have. It cost $25 back in 1990. Now if you're into European Star Wars stuff, this is a really good book. It's by a French guy called Stéphane Fourcault, and this book cost about 15 quid. I got it at the 2007 Star Wars celebration in Europe, in London, and it's signed. It says, "To me, I want your Chewbacca," because I've got that figure on a Return of the Jedi card, which he hasn't got. I told him to write that in there. And his book's from Meccano to Trilogo, so it deals with the French cards which are quite unique, plus it goes on to the tri-logo section, and it's really, if you're into European cards, it's really quite excellent. So you've got the Meccano section first, the French Meccano square cards. These are the first ones, so these are like regular 12-back cards. I've got that French Princess there. And then it moves on to the French square cards. And then the Jawa is very common, that's the most common one. You often see that coming up for sale. And what he's done on this is he's put a rarity factor, so the little numbers at the in the corner of the card, that shows you how rare they are, 5 being the rarest, 1 being the most common. But I think he's done that only in the French market. He hasn't dealt with the Palatoy cards, or the German cards, or the Dutch cards, or the Spanish cards. It just deals with the French cards plus the tri-logo cards, which he, according to him, was sold first in France. And then we got the Return of the Jedi French cards, which are commanding a lot of money when they come up to sale on the eBay. I've got that Chewbacca there, and that's quite rare, supposedly. Then we come on to the tri-logo cards, all the different variations. And this book's just excellent. If you're into tri-logo cards, I can't recommend this any more. Hoth Rescue there. This is really, at the moment, the most comprehensive book on French cards and tri-logos. You can't really go wrong with this. So highly recommend it. Cost about £15. Not bad. And it's really interesting. I mean, there's not much French stuff out there, but this is just interesting. And you've got a list at the back of what cards were available, with what bubbles and all that sort of stuff, if you're into all that. So, excellent book. And it's got the price there in European euros, €25.